All right, so this war we have Ghost, Kitty Pryde, and Quake Bands. All right, so Boss Island, Null, we've got Hood and Symbiote Supreme. Mephisto, we have S99 and possibly Scorpion. Spam, we have Fury and Venom. Immortal Abomination, we have Overseer and Omega Red. Rintrah, we have Immortal Abomination, and we actually used Cable with the Apocalypse synergy, but S99 as well. Hulkling, S99, Hood, Void, Falcon, or a half-immune debuff detox option, King Groot, Hood, Rintrah, Symbiote Supreme. 1 through 3, Thing, you've got Gallon and you have Void. Path 1, you can take the whole thing with Overseer, or go with Falcon for Anti-Venom and Titania or S99 for Longshot. Path 2, Titania or S99 for Doom, and Omega Sentinel or Nimrod with an Odin pre-fight for Domino. And then Nimrod, you have Claire or you have Nebula. 4 through 6 on the way out, Penny, you've got Gallon and Hulkling. On the way in, Terrax, you have Hood and Symbiote Supreme. Path 4, Overseer the whole way, or you could use Falcon or Venom for Invisible Woman, and I would pretty much just go with Overseer for Symbiote or for Sorcerer Supreme. But you can try some of the debuff detox champs like Havoc, who's just going to build plasma charges from all the energy attacks. Path 5, Korg, Omega Red, Apocalypse, plenty of options there. Chavez, Titania or Doom, or Mr. Negative. Path 6, Cersei, you've got Hood and Symbiote Supreme. Scorpion, you can use Fury or Mole Man, pretty much. I mean, there are plenty of options. 7 through 9 on the way out, Gore, Hood, Symbiote Supreme, but slap on Odin's. Mojo on the way in, Thing or S99 into block, although that could get risky with Conflictor. You could try Overseer and try to avoid prompts, or even Blade. 7, Mordo, Apocalypse, or a White Magneto pre-fight and just bring a proper counter, or even Doom. Valkyrie, Apocalypse, or Omega Red. Guardian on 8, Hood or Symbiote Supreme with those pre-fights will be fine. And then Path 9, you can use Kingpin the whole way, or you can go Ant-Man for Mangog, and then Nebula for for Omega Sentinel. 1 through 3 on the way in Section 2, Quicksilver, I would go with Overseer. Just look out for Evade, or you can go with Fury and maybe take Dex off, or don't. Middle minis, Fury, you got Apocalypse, you have Archangel, you have Havoc, you have Kitty Pryde was banned. Weapon X, you have Nimrod with Odin pre-fights. Could probably use Omega Sentinel as well with Odin pre-fights. 1 through 3 on the way out, Maw. I think you can use S99 and hit into block, but you can also use Overseer. Path 1, I mean, really anyone for Silver Surfer, Symbiote Supreme, Hood stand out the most. And then for iHulk, you have Falcon, and you have any other skill option like Valkyrie or pretty much anyone. Warlock is also an option. Path 2, Man-Thing, Titania, S99, Magneto, Nimrod, or any other real counter there. Not too tricky there. You could use Rintrah. Path 3, you can still use Gallon there, but you can also use someone like Havoc or a skill debuff detox option like Falcon. 4 through 6 on the way out, Wong, you have Cap, and you have Doom. Cap Infinity War. Path 4, Sasquatch, you have S99, Titania, and then for Mr. Negative, you could go Archangel, or you could go with a skill debuff detox option like Falcon. Path 5 there, Jessica Jones, you could use Valkyrie. That's pretty much your easiest. There's also the option of using Fury and just never throwing special attacks, since that's when she goes unstoppable. And then Havoc, you can use Nimrod or Omega Sentinel. Path 6, Nimrod or Omega Sentinel as well. Paths 7 through 9 on the way out, Arcus, you have Hood and you have Symbiote Supreme. Path 7, you can Apocalypse the whole thing, or you can use Omega Red for Kingpin and Nebula for Dragon Man. Path 8, Bishop, you can use Ultron, you could use War Machine, you could use Cap Sam. And then Path 9, Mr. Fantastic, you've got Falcon is your easiest, and then any half immune debuff detox will work. And then for Apocalypse, Nimrod, Nebula, Ultron, plenty of options for him. So that does it for defense. Taking a look at attack. All right, so War 7 is against 1NG. Today I will be taking in Falcon, Void, and Nebula. I've got Path 9 in Section 1, Path 3 in Section 2, and a mini-boss on Boss Island. So a little bit of a light load here. I've got Falcon going in against this Mr. Fantastic on Path 9. We're going to get locked on right away. Couple things I found, or one thing I found out from a duel, which was pretty important, was that the last hit of my special attack when it lands isn't going to give me a careful study debuff, which means that the charges that I build before throwing a special attack will consume the first careful study, and then I will prevent the second as long as I'm throwing special attacks while locked on, which is going to be when I'm throwing special attacks. I'm never going to throw a special attack without locked on. I'm never really going to attack without a locked on. I could attack with the debuff immunity up just to create space, but this fight almost ends in the first locked on, and I actually try and end it sooner. So I end up in a position where I have to dex and block enough to get rid of these debuffs so that I can actually attack reliably. And there they go. So lock on for the last bit, KO him in one hit. We move on. Apocalypse here on the second node, taking it with Nebula. Ended up being Nebula because of a fight I have later, which is a robot. Again, debuff detox, so she's half immune here, and this is kind of what I'm saying with a half immune. Can take some options on hazard shift nodes when I'm talking about assignments in defense. I just build charges here at the start, and I had game planned that when I went debuff immune and Apocalypse through a heavy that I was going to attack. And there I was one charge short, so I have to rebuild all 6 charges. And now that I'm debuff immune here, now I'm going to push. But I was so focused on the debuff immunity that I didn't even realize he had gone into the poison phase. So it's fine. We're back in Incinerate. He throws a special attack here, so that's going to eat up a lot of the debuff immune timer. But I can at least attack a couple times before it expires. And then here, waiting for poison, parry, throw the special 2, double the charges, and we finish it. And I was kind of concerned about using a PS1 there because I thought I'd overshoot in the time it took to get charges. So I was glad I didn't use one there. It worked out perfectly. Nimrod here, Path 3, Section 2, taking it with Nebula. Should be even easier than Apocalypse. But we're going to start this fight off in the perfect fashion, and that's where our parry seems to be a little late compared to when the AI can attack. So we take a combo. Unfortunate, whatever. Nebula doesn't have any fights left, so it's not like we need to actually heal. It's just annoying. So now we're gonna have too much power, and I have to really focus on building charges instead of pushing myself to special 3. So it's going fine here. 15 is no armor ups. The timer for the next one just expired, so we have a window to throw special 2 without any armor ups, so we get all our shocks and we double it reliably, and down goes Nimrod. So super easy fight for Nebula as always. Next fight, Thing on 46, the only fight I brought Void for. I have heard that Gallon does well here as well. I went ahead and used Void. It's PS1. I'm still going to follow Strike Counter, but I'm not going to finish Strike Counter before throwing the special 1, which means some of those combos that I usually state for the whole rotation aren't going to be thrown. So we did the parry medium light light, we did a parry heavy. I'm going to do a light medium light into special 1, and I'm counting hits here, so we're at 10. So now we have to do a part of the strike counter that equals 5. So it was medium light light medium light, and then bait the special 1. No more rock stacks. We had a medium light into special 1. We reset our strike counter, and that's basically the fight for the rest. So paying attention to rock stacks and keeping the strike counter, definitely tricky if you don't PS1. There is a point near the end of the fight where I end up with no power after throwing a special 1. But in that scenario, I think what I would do is hit into his block to get him to the rock stack count I need, because those hits don't count to the strike counter. And then I can go back into strike counter, which will result in 8 hits, maybe 7, and then a special 1. So we'll be shy of that 15 mark. And then doing another hit into block situation. So here, so far, no block penetration charges, which means we're not exceeding the hit counter for strike counter. So we're doing a great job managing that. Fear the Void is up. My Void is at 180 sig, so pretty high, which means we shouldn't have a period really where we don't have Fear the Void, but it was about to expire there before getting the last debuff. Thing goes down easy. So last fight of the war, Falcon versus Void here. Most worried about this fight. I did have a realization when I was thinking about the Nebula versus Apocalypse fight that if I run into a situation where I have to turtle because of Locked On being on cooldown, I can actually create some space once I get debuff immune. But the timing just doesn't really work out with this fight this time. So we get Locked On there after baiting a heavy and dashing back twice so that we're out of range. Now we're aggressive, trying to create some space. I still stick with special 1s here, at least at the start, I think. So that we can bleed him out, since I do have deep wounds maxed. And that special 2 there, I knew it was coming and I moved anyways, ended up eating it. Great, whatever. Locked On is on cooldown, so there's an example. We didn't get debuff immune because the intimidating debuff showed up, and then here Locked On is ready, so I can't take advantage of this debuff immunity. I just want to get Locked On, and now that I'm focused on that, we don't have to care about the debuff immunity. We can just lay into him. What I would suggest for anyone taking this fight with Falcon is just be comfortable holding your block against the wall and dexing heavies the whole time. Don't worry about block damage. Mini bosses actually don't have that much damage through block, contrary to what you would think, unless you're taking Node 51, which has prowess puncture. Then definitely worry about blocked hits. But I remember back with protection and using G99 against Apocalypse on 53 and not taking much block damage, and then against him as a boss, definitely a lot of block damage. So third Locked On here is going to do it. There's a special 2 for a big hit. We've got 50% of the time left on Locked On. Next combo should finish it or be close. I think I throw maybe a special 1. Maybe not. I think it just combo. Yep. Ends it. So a much cleaner Void fight compared to the last time. But that was the end of my war. Our battle group beat out their battle group 2-1. So it was a good war for our battle group. And then that 1 death actually ended up being our only death to their 9. It was a very good war for us. We definitely had to show up, especially because we actually forgot to ban anyone for the opponent. So 9 deaths without any bans besides Human Torch and Herc. I'll take it. So I'm glad we pulled out the win and won the war we should have won. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hit subscribe, give it a like, and I will catch you guys at the next war.